Hello everybody and welcome to It Moves, which is a fairly old RPG Maker horror game. I believe this game came out in August 2014, and it was based off of a creepypasta called Bedtime. Now, it's been years since I played this game. In fact, the only reason why I'm playing it now is because I came across it while browsing through Steam for horror games. But from what I recall with it, it gave off Silent Hill 3 sort of vibes with how disturbing the material of the game is. And hopefully it kind of holds up, because when it comes to these old RPG Maker games, they tend to not hold up that well. But I think I said enough. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Bedtime. Bedtime is supposed to be a happy event for a tired child. For me, it was terrifying. While some children might complain about being put to bed before they have finished watching a film or playing their favorite video game, when I was a child, nighttime was something to truly fear. Somewhere in the back of my mind, it still is. This is me. Okay, it's just like your stereotypical RPG Maker game. Wolf, full of toys and stuff. You know, just go around, check everything. Poster from a movie. I got it from my brother. That's supposed to be E.T. I see... I guess it is. It has E.T. written on the left side. Right up on the top. Let's go and leave the room. I cannot prove that what happened to me was objectively real. I can swear that what I experienced was genuine horror. A fear which in my life, I'm glad to say, has never been equaled. I will relate it to you all now as best I can. Make of it what you will, but I'll be glad to just get it off my chest. This is my brother's room. He told me yesterday to keep out of his room that we both had shared until then. Flower's mom put these here. This is my father. He's not very interesting. Dad, don't go pulling out too much stuff now. It's bedtime soon. Can't remember exactly when it started, but my apprehension toward falling asleep seemed to correspond with me being moved into a room of my own. This is my mother. Mom told me not to touch her stuff, especially this stuff. Why, is there a toy in there I should know about? Boxes full of stuff. Ventilation, I think Mom said this is. There's a bunch of clothes in here. A man with a mustache. Is that Ron Swanson? You know what? Never mind. I was 8 years old at the time, and until then I had shared a room quite happily with my older brother. It's perfectly understandable for a boy 5 years my senior. My brother eventually wished for a room of his own, and as a result, I was given the room at the back of the house. As my brother was given a new bed, I was given the bunk beds which we used to share. While I was upset about sleeping on my own, I was excited at the thought of being able to sleep in the top bunk, which seemed far more adventurous to me. Alright, it's bedtime. Wow, that was quick already. Yes, adults need their sleep, you see. You'll be sleeping alone for the first time. You excited? Yes, Mom. All right, I'm turning off the lights. Good night. Good night. And like that, I'm alone in the dark. Chapter 1, Cave. Not much of a cave, more like a jungle. And I have no idea what that thing is. Oh, we can't go back. Small water hole. The water's dirty. Probably not good idea to drink it. Like a really old school Japanese house. Pot and some ragged cloth. I wonder what's cooking. Well, nah, there's a face peering through the window. Stalking is such a strong word. I prefer to think of it more as intense research on one individual. By the way, your missing sock is under your bed with me. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here. A cold, unwelcome breeze comes from the bottom of the stairs. Yes, go down. What was that? Oh, the guy at the window's gone. So he's probably following me. Weird mushroom looks poisonous. A purple mushroom, definitely poisonous. The hell was that? There is red liquid seeping out from the mushroom hat. Okay, first off, it's called the bell. Second off, these mushrooms actually exist. It's kind of creepy because they do secrete like a red liquid, but it's almost like a blood red. Very creepy, eerie, but let's just go ahead and explore the rest of this cave. That was the guy from the window. We got a puzzle. Oh, that was easy. Okay. Yeah, he's just stalking me in the dark. What? Oh God, run, dude, run, run! You effing moron! He threw me off the bridge. Straight into the chasm. Mom, I had a bad dream. Mom. It's locked, stupid bro. I just wants his privacy. A picture of a man standing around. I think it's dad when he was younger. Mom, I had a bad dream. Sweetie, what's wrong? I had a bad dream. Oh, that's too bad, sweetie. I'll be up in a minute. We can eat breakfast together. All right, hurry up. Go change your clothes, and I'll be right there. Dad's just fast asleep. I'll be up in a minute. We can eat breakfast together. She just wants 5 more minutes of sleep. So another day started. It was a day of little importance to our story. I won't bother you with details. The one thing I remember, that even though I played with friends like I always did, I somehow still felt lonely. I didn't enter my new room until later that night. It was time to go to sleep again. Really? Chapter 2, Labyrinth. Go and save there. Wow, this is yeah, it's definitely Silent Hill 3 kind of vibes. Silent Hill vibes in general. There we go. So we just gotta run around in this labyrinth. Oh. There's now a face on my screen. What was that? Anacorp, what's that? And there are things moving around in here. Hell no. No. Some kind of machinery. Can't go that way. So what do I need to do? Ooh. Oh, so I guess they can't hurt you. You're just there to give you a jump scare. Instructions on how to use the fire extinguisher. Ventilation, maybe. The air is still stuffy, though. What am I looking for? There's a wanted poster. There's like weird shadow men coming out of nowhere. So we gotta go all the way on the other side. Oh, there's something. Oh, it's gonna start getting more and more blood red. Looking for these weird pile things, I guess. Oh, there's one. Oh, he gets much faster too. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I don't see it up here. Looks like a fan. Oh, there it is. Oh. Hmm. When you awaken from a deep sleep to something moving or stirring, it can take a few moments for you to truly understand what is happening. A fog of sleep hangs over your eyes and ears even when lucid. Something was moving. There was no doubt about it. That at first I wasn't sure what it was. Everything was dark, almost pitch black, but there was enough light creeping in from outside to outline that room. This music is actually really creepy. Two thoughts appeared in my mind almost simultaneously. The first was that my parents were in bed because the rest of the house lay both in darkness and silence. The second thought turned to the noise, a noise which had obviously woken me. That was it, bed sheets rustling in the dark and someone breathing. As if some disturbed sleeper was attempting to get all too comfortable in the bottom bunk. I lay there in disbelief, thinking that the noise was either my imagination or perhaps just my pet cat finding somewhere comfortable to spend the night. It was then that I noticed my door shut, as it had been as I'd fallen asleep. Perhaps my mom had checked in on me, and the cat had sneaked into my room then. Yes, that must have been it. I turned to face the wall, closing my eyes in the vain hope that I could fall back to sleep. As I moved, the rustle noise from underneath me ceased. I thought that I must have disturbed my cat, but quickly I realized that the visitor in my bottom bunk was much less mundane than my pet trying to sleep, and much more sinister. As if alerted to and disgruntled by my presence, the disturbed sleeper began to toss and turn violently, like a child having a tantrum in their bed. I could hear the sheets twist and turn with increasing ferocity. Fear then gripped me, not like the subtle sense of unease I had experienced earlier, but now potent and terrifying. My heart raced as my eyes panicked. Scanning the almost impenetrable darkness, I let out a cry. As most young boys do, I instinctively shouted on my mother. I could hear something stirring on the other side of the house. But as I began to breathe a sigh of relief that my parents were coming to save me, the bunk bed suddenly started to shake violently as if gripped by an earthquake, scraping against the wall. I could hear the sheets below me thrashing around as if tormented by malice. did not want to jump down to safety as I feared the thing at the bottom bunk would reach out and grab me, pulling me into the darkness. So I stayed there with knuckles clenched, my own blanket like a shroud of protection. Wait seemed like an eternity. Damn. What's wrong? Did you have a bad dream? That's existential terror for you. I cried and my mother consoled me. Tears of fear followed my relief, streamed down my face. Yet through all the horror and relief, I did not tell her why I was so upset. I cannot explain it, but it was as though whatever had been in that bunk would return, if I even so much as spoke of it. Whether that was the truth, I do not know, but as a child I felt as if that unseen menace remained close, listening. My mother lay in the empty bunk, promising to stay there until morning. I remember the next day wanting to go anywhere but be anywhere but in that suffocating room. It was a Saturday and I played outside quite happily with my friends. Although our house was not large, we were lucky to have a long sloping garden in the back. We played there often, as much of it was overgrown and we could hide in the bushes, climb in the huge sycamore tree which towered above all else, and easily imagine ourselves in the throes of a grand adventure. As fun as it all was, occasionally my eye would turn to that small window in my room, ordinary, slight, and innocent. But for me, that thin boundary was a looking glass into a strange cold pocket of dread. Outside, the lush green surroundings of our garden filled with the smiling faces of my friends. Inside, the feeling of something in that room watching me play, waiting for the night when I would be alone, eagerly filled me with hate. It may sound strange to you, but by the time my parents ushered me back into that room for the night, I said nothing. I didn't protest. I didn't even make an excuse as to why I couldn't sleep there. Still felt that this thing would be enraged if I so much as speak of it. Another night came. Oh boy, night 3. Chapter 3, Factorized. Go ahead and save it there. The door is firmly shut. What in the hell is that? A huge skull. You know, that kind of reminds me of the icon of sin from Doom, like the original Doom game. Oh. What, is it going to get more and more demonic the further I go? A banner on a long pole. It's too old and torn to make out details. Oh, a pentagram. How lovely. Hail Satan, I guess. There's some kind of green landscape. The picture is too bad shape to make out any details. Our fan circulating. What kind of machine? Oh, what the? Oh, hello to you too. So that sounded like it opened something. What was that? What the? How are you? Oh, I'm just dandy. It's not like I'm walking through hell. Oh. It's that guy I saw from before. I guess we just gotta walk through this factory looking for the switches and flip them. Oh, there's one. A creepy mask. Yeah, the mask is gone. Oh, it's on the floor. Creepy mask. Okay. We open up this one. Oh wow, pools of blood. Let's go. Oh, we already flipped that one. We got that one. Oh, there we go. What the fuck? You know what? I don't even want to know. Nope. No, thank you. Nope. Nope. Just need to look for the next switch. It's almost like the lights on the runway at airports. We've been there. Been around the blood pool. Can't enter that one yet. Ah, there it is. The lights of a runway at an airport. Yeah. All right, which one did that one open? Not open this one. Mask guy's gone. There's another pentagram. Hey. Oh. Funny how certain words can remain hidden from your mind, no matter how blatant or obvious they are. One word came to me that night, lying there in the darkness alone, frightened, aware of the rotten change in the atmosphere. A thickening of the air as if something had displaced it. I heard the first casual twist of the bed sheets below. The first anxious increase of my heartbeat at the realization that something was once again in the bottom bunk. That word. A word which had been sent into exile, filtered up through my consciousness. Breaking free from all repression, gasping for air, screaming, etching and carving itself into my mind. Ghost. As this thought came to me, I noticed that my unwelcome visitor had ceased moving. The bedsheets lay calm and dormant, but they had been replaced by something far more hideous. A slow, rhythmic, rasping breathing heaved and escaped from the thing below. I could imagine its chest rising and falling with each sordid, wheezing and garbled breath. I shuddered and hoped beyond all hope that it would leave without occurrence. The house lay as it had the previous night in a thick blanket of darkness. Silence prevailed, all but for the perverted breath of my as yet unseen bunkmate. I lay there terrified. I just wanted this thing to go, to leave me alone. What did it want? Then something unmistakable, chilling transpired. It moved. It moved in a way different from before. When it threw itself around in the bottom bunk, it seemed unrestrained, without purpose, almost animalistic. For that thing lying there in the darkness, that thing which seemed intent on terrorizing a young boy, calmly and nonchalantly sat up. Its labored breath had become louder. Not only a mattress and a few flimsy wooden slates separated my body from the unearthly breath below. I lay there, my eyes filled with tears, a fear which mere words cannot relate to you or anyone else coursed through my veins. I've been believed that this fear could have been heightened, but I was so wrong. I imagined what this thing would look like, sitting there listening from below my mattress, hoping to catch the slightest hint that I was awake. Imagination then turned to an unnerving reality. It began to touch the wooden slates which my mattress sat on. It seemed to caress them carefully, running what I imagined to be fingers and hands across the surface of the wood. And with great force, it prodded angrily between two slates into the mattress. Even through the padding, it felt as though someone had viciously stuck their fingers into my side. I allowed an almighty cry and the wheezing shaking. A moving thing in the bunk below replied in kind by violently vibrating the bunk as it had done the night before. Small flakes of paint powdered into my blanket from the wall as the frame of the bed scraped along it, backwards and forwards. Once again I was bathed in light, and there stood my mother, loving, caring as she always was, with a comforting hug and calming words which eventually subdued my hysteria. Of course she asked what was wrong, but I could not say, I dare not say. I simply said one word over and over and over again. Nightmare. This pattern of events continued for weeks, if not months. Night after night, I would awaken to the sound of rustling sheets. Each time I would scream so as to not provide the abomination with time to prod and feel for me. With each cry, the bed would shake violently, stopping with the arrival of my mother, who would spend the rest of the night in the bottom bunk, seemingly unaware of the sinister force torturing her son nightly. Along the way, I managed to feign illness a few times to come up with other less than truthful reasons for sleeping in my parents' bed. More often than not, I would be alone for the first few hours of each night in that place. A room where the light from outside did not sit right, alone with that thing. With time, you can become sensitized to almost anything, no matter how horrific. I had come to realize that, for whatever reason, this thing could not harm me when my mother was present. I am sure the same would have been said for my father. As loving as he was, waking him from sleep was almost impossible. Waking me, on the other hand, was no trouble at all, thanks to the nightmares. Yeah, this kid is just going straight through hell. Chapter 4, Anger Overload. And you know what's the sad thing is, even if he said it was like there's a ghost or something, nobody would believe him. That's really the sad thing here. Plate glass picks some kind of religious man, I guess. Oh, Jesus. Earthquake. A hook hangs from the wall. A piece of meat hangs to dry from it. Plate glass picks some religious man, I guess. Painted glass depicts a scene from the Bible. That is a giant ass spider. Okay, it's still there. What the hell? Another one. Big jars filled with heads of some sort. Various jars with disgusting stuff inside. Oh. It's a big pool, but I'd rather not use it. Because there's like a giant floating head in the pool. Looks like a map. Picture picks a couple of men standing in front of a car. Ooh, what was that? Oh, those are hanging cats. Hell no. Uh-oh. I'm stuck. And now I'm crushed. Oh. Guess we just keep walking. Yeah, this game definitely nails the disturbing aspects. It really does. Like, I have no idea what the F is going on, but it's honestly creepy. Well, they stopped closing their mouths. happens if I go back? It looks like we're in a loop. Oh, you can't go back. Guess we'll just keep going. What the fuck are that? No. No. Oh, oh, they surrounded me. Hell no. Hell no. Kill him with fire. My greatest fears were realized in the winter. The days grew short, and the longer nights merely provided that wretched with more opportunities. It was a difficult time for my family. My grandmother, a wonderful, kind, and gentle woman, had deteriorated greatly since the death of my grandfather. My mother was trying her best to keep her in the community as long as possible. However, dementia is a cruel and degenerative illness, robbing a person of their memories one day at a time. Soon she recognized none of us, and it became clear that she would need to be moved from her house to a nursing home. Before she could be moved, my grandmother had a particularly difficult few nights. My mother decided that she wouldn't stay with her. As much as I loved my grandmother and felt nothing but anguish at her illness, to this day I feel guilty that my first thoughts were not of her, but of what my nightly visitor may do should it become aware of my mother's absence. Her presence being the one thing which I was sure was protecting me from the full horror of that thing's reach. I rushed home from school that day and immediately wrenched in the bed sheets and mattress from the lower bunk, removing all of the slates and placing an old desk, a chest of drawers, and some chairs which we kept in the cupboard where the bottom bunk used to be. I told my father I was making an office, which he found adorable. But I'll be damned if I give that thing a place to sleep for one more night. As darkness approached, I lay there knowing my mother was not in the house. I did not know what to do. My only impulse was to sneak into her jewelry box and take a small family crucifix, which I had seen there before. My family were not very religious. At the age, I still believed in God and hoped that somehow this would protect me. Although fearful and anxious while gripping the crucifix under my pillow tightly in one hand, sleep eventually came, and as I drifted off to dream, I hoped that I would awaken in the morning without incident. Unfortunately, that night was the most terrifying of all. Oh boy. Chapter 5, Urban Explorer. It says wolf. Is that Frankenstein? Stacks of notebooks. Oh, we're in a school. School books. I'm feeling that something invading your privacy, even without ill will, is still disturbing. What the hell was that? You are good. You are good. Nah, I am not good. If you don't know why they are here, you hold the greatest amount of fear for them. Bathtub in the middle of the classroom. The Triceratops. Oh, picture of what seems to be a religious man and woman. The sounds of screams are awful. They're even worse when they are your own. What was that? A writing desk with some school material on it. Big filing cabinet. Various books that look like they would be hard to read. Really nothing in there. That guy just sounds pissed off. Mattress dirty and worn out. Oh, mattress is dirty and worn out. Nothing else in here? It's locked. What do you mean it's locked? What do I have to do? There's a piece of paper here. It reads knock knock. Okay then. At least we're out of the room. Lock, the door's broken. Okay, can't go up there. There's a hole in the wall where roots have grown. What in the hell are those things? Well, they're non-hostile. Let's go and continue following the creepy thing. Plants grow through the cracks of the floor. We're in like some sort of sewer. Like creepy background noises. Random dudes screaming. What the f? Well, it says creepy things. What are you doing, bro? I guess they tore me apart. You're awfully quiet nowadays. Is there something wrong, son? Yeah, this goddamn house is haunted. Nothing. Are you sure there's something wrong with your new room? Are you lonely without your brother? No. Alright then. Say something. Ask your brother that if he wants to trade rooms. Oh, gradually, the room was once again dark. As my eyes adjusted, I could gradually make out the window and the door and the walls. Some toys on the shelf, and even to this day, I shudder to think of it, for there was no noise. No rustling of sheets, no movement at all. The room felt lifeless, lifeless yet not empty. The nightly visitor, that unwelcome, wheezing, hate-filled thing which had terrorized me night after night, was not in the bottom bunk. It was in my bed. I opened my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. Utter terror had shaken the very sound from my voice. Lying motionless, if I could not scream, I did not want to let it know I was awake. I had not yet seen it, I could only feel it. It was obscure under my blanket. I could see its outline, I could feel its presence, but I dare not look. The weight of it pressured down on top of me, a sensation I will never forget. When I say that hours passed, I do not exaggerate. Laying there motionless in the darkness, I was very bit a scared and frightened young boy. If it had been during the summer months, it would have been light by then. But the grasp of winter is long and unrelenting, and I knew it would be hours before sunrise. A sunrise which I yearned for. I was a timid child by nature, but I reached a breaking point. A moment where I could wait no more, where I could survive under the entirely deviant abomination no longer. Fear can sometimes wear you out, make you free to bear. A shell of nervous, leaving only the slightest trace of you behind. I had to get out of my bed, then I remembered the crucifix. My hand still lay underneath the pillow, but it was empty. I slowly moved my wrist around to find it, minimizing as best as I could the sound and vibrations caused, but it could not be found. I had either knocked it off the top bunk, or it had. I cannot even bear to think of it being taken away from my hand. Without the crucifix, I lost any sense of hope. Even at such a young age, I can be actually aware of what death is and intensely frightened of it. I knew I was going to die in that bed if I lay there, dormant, passive, doing nothing. I had to leave that room behind, but how? Should I leap from the bed and hope that I make it to the door? What if it's faster than me? Or should I slowly slip out of the top bunk, hoping to not disturb my uncanny bedfellow? Realizing that I had not much stirred within, I moved. Trying to find the crucifix, I began to have the strangest of thoughts. It's getting closer. Chapter 6, The Abyss. Oh, hell nah. I'm underwater now. Am I wearing a dive suit? Where am I going now? What? What is this with my dad? Drain water, remove diving gear. Yes. Did we just enter Rapture from BioShock? Oh. And we got some like stills of jellyfish, which I forget the name of that kind of jellyfish. Read logbook. Captain Theodore Field, September 2nd, 2007. One of my biggest fears is deep water. Ironic when you consider the fact that I am now working on a mining station thousands of feet underwater in the Mariana Trench. I've always wondered why I was afraid, and reaching a simple conclusion, the true fear presented here is actually going down beneath the surface into the depths. It's all combination of all of our most common fears. One, fear of the dark. When you're at the bottom of the body of water, you can't see anything. It's pitch black. Have you ever tried to swim as far down in a lake as you can? It gets really dark and could really fast, about 10 feet down. But even that's nothing compared to the deepest point of the entire crust of the earth. Located at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, the Mariana Trench, which is 180,000 feet. If you put Mount Everest at the bottom of the trench, the top of the mountain will still be over a mile below the surface of the ocean. Everything below you is complete darkness, and this definitely plays into our collective fear of the dark. 2. Fear of suffocation. Have you ever gotten to the point where you swam down too far in the swimming pool and you seriously consider the fact that you might not make it back to the top before you ran out of breath? Have you ever been roughhousing as a kid with blankets and pillows and you accidentally got pinned down inside of a sleeping bag? Or something, you get to that point where laughter temporarily turns into screaming. You know what a scary concept not being able to breathe is. Even if you have scuba gear with you down into that deep dark abyss, there's a chance a valve could pop out where you could run out of oxygen. You can't see and you can't really take a deep breath. Could it get worse? Yes. 3. Fear of the unknown. There are over 1 million species of creatures in the ocean. The scientists estimate that there are an additional 9 million species yet to be discovered. That means we only even know, what, 11% of the creatures in the ocean? Or most of the beings in the ocean are things mankind has never seen or heard of. Who knows what could be down there? Think about a time when you were walking in a dimly lit basement, trying to find something. All of a sudden, something brushes up against your back, the back of your neck. They seem airborne, similar to a frightened cat, and instantly turn around and shine their flashlight to see that it's never anything actually scary. But in the deep water, it's always something scary. It's dark and you can't barely breathe, and something just touched you and you have no idea where they just went. But there is more to fear, I'm afraid. What was there's like a quote from H.P. Lovecraft. Fear was like the first emotion human evolved. Well, God, what was it? Fear was the first emotion that humans developed. And the greatest of the fears was the fear of the unknown. Fear of flying insects. Imagine that you are walking along, all the beetles and scorpions crawling along the ground, and huge black hairy spiders that are hidden from view, and the cracks of the slimy worms and snakes that are burrowed beneath the ground simultaneously started flying everywhere. They wanted that is what the bottom of the sea without water would look like. For the strange creatures underwater, there is no up or down. And the manless men, even though they appear to be calm, quickly tense up and become filled with a secret fear that the bug might land on their eyeball or fly into their mouth. That's why men try so hard to kill them. Fortunately, in deep water, you can't see any of the undiscovered freakish flying creatures that brush past your body as you grasp at the suffocating throat. 5, fear of being caught. Imagine that you're running from a bear that will be eaten if you are caught. And it doesn't help that bears can run faster sideways than the fastest human can run forward. When you're at the bottom of the sea, everything is around you was built to move in water. If something truly frightens, like a shark or a giant squid caught sight of you, you could turn the other way and flail about all you want, but the monster will catch up. With you, it is in a split second. You can't get away from anything. If you had a wherewithal to see the breath, you couldn't run away from danger. It would simply find you and devour you. There are a lot of places that I wouldn't want to be, such as trapped in a burning house or alone in the vacuum of space. In the burning house. Ugh. But in the burning house, at least I could see. And in space, at least there aren't any creatures that could get me. There are no other places in the universe that combine as many common fears as 7 miles below the surface of the Pacific Ocean. It is because of the combination of all of these fears that I am so horrified by the deep. You and I both. I guess we gotta follow that one guy. That is a massive anglerfish. Oh, yeah, there's that. I guess we're gonna just float down to the... That's the effing Sarlacc pit. Oh, what is that? Yeah, I got eaten by a giant worm. Nothing bobbit worm, probably. What if it was asleep? And so much as breathed since I had woken up. Perhaps it was resting, believing that it had finally got me. That I was finally in its grasp. Or perhaps it was toying with me, after all. It had been doing just that for countless nights. And now, with me under it, pinned against my mattress with no mother to protect me, maybe it was holding off. Savoring its victory until the last possible moment. Like a wild animal savoring its prey. I tried to breathe as shallowly as possible, and mustering every ounce of courage I could. I reached over slowly with my right hand and began to peel the blanket off me. I found under those covers almost stopped my heart. I did not see it. As my hand moved the blanket, it brushed against something. Something smooth and cold. Something which felt unmistakably like a gaunt hand. I held my breath in terror as I was sure it must now have known that I was awake. Nothing. It did not stir. It felt dead. After a few moments, I placed my hand carefully further down the blanket. I felt a thin, poorly formed forearm. I convinced an almost twisted sense of curiosity grew as I moved down further into a disproportionately larger bicep muscle. The arm was outstretched, lying across my chest, with the hand resting on my left shoulder, as if it had grabbed me in my sleep. I don't know why I'm getting tired all of a sudden. I realized that I would, well, probably because it's like real late in the morning. I realized I would have to move this cadaver's appendage if I even so much as hoped to escape its grasp. For some reason, I feel like the feeling of torn, ragged clothes in the shoulder of this night-time invader stopped me in my tracks. For once again swelled in my stomach and the chest as I recoiled my hand in disgust at the touch of raggedly oily hair. I cannot bring myself to touch its face, although I wonder to this very day what it would have felt like. Dear God, it moved. Chapter 7, Hostia. What in the... Nah. Oh, great. Flying eyeballs, weird jellyfish monsters. Last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Now it's just back to being weird. I'm just going to ignore that. No. Oh, hello. At a crossroads in life, what does one do? Stand at a crossroads if you will, but if you'll not choose, I'll move on without you. And having once chosen, never to seek to return to the crossroads of that decision. For if one chooses wrongly, the choice cannot be unmade. Alright. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Let's go forward. Nope, can't go that way. So let's go back then. Huh? Oh. It moved. It was subtle. Blood gripped my shoulder and across my body strengthened. No tears came, but God, how I wanted to cry. As his hands and arms slowly coiled around me, my left leg brushed along the cool wall, which the bed lay against. All that happened to me in that room, this was the strangest. It definitely was the strangest. I realized that this clutching, rancid thing which drew great delight from violating a young boy's bed was not entirely on top of me. It was sticking out from the wall like a spider striking from its lair. Suddenly its grip moved from a slow tightening to a sudden squeeze. It pulled and clawed at my clothes as if frightened that the opportunity would soon pass. I fought against it, but its emaciated arm was too strong for me. Its head rose up, writhing and contorting under the blanket. I now realized where it was taking me. Into the wall. I fought for my dear life. I cried and suddenly my voice returned to me. Yelling, screaming, but no one came. I realized why it was so eager to suddenly strike, why this thing had to have me now. Through my window, that window which seemed to represent so much malice from outside, streaked hope, the first rays of sunshine. I struggled further, knowing that if I could just hold on, it would soon be gone. As I fought for my life, the unearthly parasite shifted, slowly pulling itself up to my chest. Head now poking out from under the blanket, wheezing, coughing, rasping. I do not remember its features, I simply remember its breath against my face, foul and as cold as ice. Ugh. As the sun broke over the horizon, the dark place that suffocating the room of contempt was washed, bathed in sunlight. Passed out as the scrawny figures encircled my neck, squeezing the very life from me. And that's when Mom entered. I woke to my father offering to make me some breakfast, a wonderful sight indeed. I had survived the most horrible experience of my life until then and now. I moved the bed away from the wall, leaving behind the furniture I had believed would stop that thing from taking the bed. Little did I think that it would try to take mine and me. Weeks passed without incident, yet on one cold, frostbitten night I woke to the sound of the furniture where the bunk bed used to be, vibrating violently. I lay there sure I could hear a distant wheezing come from deep within the wall, finally fading into the distance. The following year I was given a larger room on the other side of the house, and my parents took that room as their bedroom. They said they didn't need a large room, just one big enough for a bed and a few things. They lasted 10 days. We moved on the 11th. Damn, bro. It moves a game by Snow Owl. Hmm. 8 Million Ways to Die. Here's a horn, based on the story Bedtime by Michael Whitehouse. The end. All right, guys, so that was It Moves. Honestly, really good horror game. Probably one of the best RPG horror games out there. And surprisingly, it still holds up. I mean, it kind of gives you like existential terror. That's essentially what this game does. It doesn't rely on like cheap jump scares. It lets the atmosphere add to the horror, essentially. Very interesting horror game. Like always, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the game down below, but I'm also going to go ahead and leave the creepypasta that this game's based off in the description down below as well. But if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. As always, and until next time, have a good day.